Hey, good evening, everybody. This is your host, Huge Pop, of the Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast, and with me is my co-host, Reek. The Tuesday show is now Wednesday for this week, and we'll be back next Tuesday with the Crazy Bunch, but everybody else had stuff to do. But we still wanted to put out a show, so everybody that wants to watch it, doesn't want to watch it, that's on you. I don't care. We're out here just having fun, sharing our thoughts, and that's basically what it is. And we're going to hit Bash in Berlin. I know it's a few days late, but we're gonna watch it. We watched it. And I'm going to ask Rico, man, if you had to overall rate the show, what would you say it was? Would you say it's one of the better ones, or would you say it's mediocre?
I would say, just me personally, I would honestly say it was, I don't feel like it was mediocre. I feel like it was better. It was one of the better ones. It was a solid program. You didn't have too many matches. You didn't have too many dead spots where you're just like, okay, I'm kind of getting tired of watching this. The whole thing kind of kept you going, and it kept you intrigued where you're like, oh, man, this is, for me, I was like, it gets better and better.
Right. Oh, 100%. I have to agree with that. You know, and if I'm looking at the match card, you know, and there might have been one match that, you know, one of these matches doesn't belong here. And I think they could have done the women's tag team match on like a Raw or a SmackDown. I mean, it was a good match, don't get me wrong. But nonetheless, I would say, yeah, it's probably one of the best overall shows, especially being an overseas show, right?
Man, can we just say that crowd insane. Yes. Like, I love how they put the decibel levels right there so you can see how loud they are.
Yeah.
Because Michael Cole was doing an interview and he was stating, like, you go overseas or anywhere besides the U.S. and it's amazing how loud they are. Like, they're just excited you're there, and they show that appreciation.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you had matches like, you know, best friends, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, you know, in the ring together. You have Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest against Dom, who Rhea Ripley took under her wing for months. They finally met in the battle. You met what probably had one of the best intercontinental champions or world heavyweight champion in Gunther facing you, arguably a legend in its own right, Randy Orton, you know, and then you had the women's match, you know, the tag team match, you know, and nothing against that tag team match, but that was probably the least favorite match for me. But we can get right into it. And let's talk about which one do you want to talk about first, man?
We'll go in order. Let's start with Sir Cody and Sir Kevin Owens there.
Yes. So go ahead, man. You go ahead.
Well, first of all, I mean, hands down, good match. Good match, you know. And, you know, we talk about it quite a bit in the show where we discuss about how you see Cody's kind of like he's still got the popularity, but because of the whole other stories going on SmackDown, and, you know, especially with Bloodline, Roman's back, so you feel like Cody's kind of fell down a little bit. But I feel like when he gets in that ring, he still puts on a great performance for everyone, and he never lets you down. And Kevin Owens the same, man. I think Kevin just staying out, just one of the greats. I mean, Kevin still got a lot of years left in him, man. And I see him being a future champion again, but holding it longer.
Absolutely. He's a beast, man. He can go. You know, he's one of those big guys that you say, how does he do half the stuff he does, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he does it, you know, and I agree with you on the Cody Rhodes thing. I don't want to beat the dead horse. I think we've said it enough. I feel sorry for the guy. I really do. This match, in my opinion, didn't have much build-up, and that's what sucks. I think that's where when I say Cody Rhodes is getting the shaft, it's because it doesn't seem like there's any build-up because we're overshadowed by the Damian Priest, Rhea Ripley, Dom story, the Judgment Day, the Bray Wyatts, but nonetheless, he comes out and he electrifies the crowd. I mean, that coming down that ramp to hear Cody Rhodes' song, that crowd, like you said, in Berlin, crazy good.
I mean, I was thinking about it, and I was like, let's go back to the Attitude Era. And at the same time, we had NWO and WCW. And this is just me personally. Anybody else can disagree. I'm pretty sure they will. But like at that time, like especially with WCW, I wasn't really caring about who the champion was. I was more intrigued with the stories. I wanted to see what NWO was doing next.
Right.
You know, same thing, you know, when you had DX. I was so intrigued by DX. But when they started out, Shawn was the champion. So it kind of helped out. But, you know, sometimes, unfortunately, for whoever's champion, those gimmicks and those stories take over because they're that good.
Absolutely. You're right. You go back to the NWO. We didn't care who the WCW champion was, right?
Nope.
No one cared that Hogan had it. Hogan had the belt, but it wasn't about that. It was about what's the NWO going to do? You know, Aces and Eights. That storyline. What are they going to do? Who cared? I don't even remember who the champion was back then. It's about Aces and Eights. You know, DX. Are they going to come out and destroy everybody? You know, the Attitude Era. Is Lita and Edge going to be in the middle of a ring in a bed?
You know,
right?
Stuff like that.
Is Stephanie McMahon going to be carried down on a cross by the Undertaker?
Oh man,
those are just
times right there.
Those are times, you know, and we didn't care. You didn't care about who the champion was at that moment, right? And I think I guess if I look at it that way, I can lay off the Cody Rhodes bit, but I still think he's getting screwed. He really is.
Let's look at it. He's still one of the top merch sellers.
Absolutely.
He's not the top, but he's still one of the tops.
And
he still puts on one heck of a show for everyone. Everyone still adores, loves him, respects him for the work he puts out. And, you know, he's kind of like he's like, we've said it before, he's taken over kind of like the John Cena role, where if you've noticed, where he does a lot of, Roman's doing it too, a lot of the Make-A-Wishes and stuff. And, you know, and it's just, he's doing good things. And that's where I feel like storylines it seems like he's getting overshadowed, but he's still doing his part and he's still being seen and heard.
Absolutely. So Rhodes defeated Owens. It's retained the title.
Not to change subject, I got to ask this because I saw it earlier because we were talking about different groups and factions.
Yeah.
How many freaking different groups is Chris Jericho going to be in? Come on, man. I just saw it earlier. I haven't watched it in a while. So I said, let me watch it, you know, and what's the name of this new group?
I don't pay attention to AEW, so I don't know.
What was it? I can't remember, but I just, wow. I'm like, just AEW alone, he's been in 4 or 5 different groups that he started up.
Yep. And that's, to me, that's Tony Khan going, okay, you're a draw. We need to keep you doing something. So let's do this, right?
I just wanted to pick your brain on that. I was like, wow, I can't believe that.
I also seen, I don't know if you've seen it. I hope it's a rumor. I hope it's not true. But Cody Rhodes is going to go and do something with TNA. Because TNA is going along into the Netflix era. So I don't know if that's a rumor or what. But he's going to make an appearance on those shows. And I think that's cool. I think I think it's important for that. I don't know what you think about that. You think, should he stay with just WWE, or because we're obviously going to see a merge? I mean, you see TNA at NXT all the time.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. The merger's already kind of happened. You see where like Jordan Grace, she's been in NXT. You know, that's what Naomi came over.
Yeah.
And you're going to see others. Who was it? I know you love him. What's his name? Joe Hendry.
God, no. All right.
Joe Hendry, you know, and we're going to start seeing more go over to TNA, you know, and not permanently, but I think as the champion, I don't know. I don't think so, but it could be something new that they're going to try out. You know, let's have a champion go over there and defend. Jordan's coming over to NXT this week, I believe, or next week for a first open challenge.
As long as Joe Hendry doesn't beat Cody Rhodes.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
God, I hate that. So what do you grade? What grade would you give Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens' performance?
I really give that a solid B plus. I really do. I liked it. I liked how they kept it going and they kept you intrigued. You know, that's my main thing is if a match can keep me from, like, if I say, you know, I'm going to go grab something to eat, that means I'm kind of bored with the match and I don't really care what's going on.
100%.
But if I'm hungry and you see me doing this, kind of looking back at the TV, what's going on?
Yeah.
You know, I felt like it kept my attention.
Okay. I give it about a B plus. Yeah. So let's talk about the women's tag team match. Jade Cargill, your girl, Bianca Belair versus Alba Fryer and Isla Dawn, I guess. Is that how you say it?
Isla Dawn, I believe is her name.
Dawn. So what do you think about that match?
It wasn't bad. I felt like it could have been better, but I mean, they did a good job. You know, for me, I think it's sometimes what I've noticed, and maybe I'm just picking apart the matches, but what I've been noticing is two things. One, taking too long to do a move. Like when I say that, I mean like, hey, I'm going to grab your arm and then I'm slowly going to like it.
Yeah.
You're making it obvious that, you know, like she's about to do this, you know, help you out with this. We know listen, everybody knows that wrestling, you know, we say the word fake, it's not really fake. People get hurt, they get banged up, they get bruised up. It is scripted. That's what I'll say. You know, but that's the thing. You got to kind of at least make it look more real.
Right.
But at the same time, I'll say try not to go too fast. This is the second thing I was going to bring up was because when you go too fast, too many mistakes happen.
Right. 100%. I agree with that. And I love Jade Cargill. Don't get me wrong. But when I say this, I think she's prone to doing what you just said. Sometimes it's too slow. Sometimes it's too fast. I think once she gets her timing down, she's going to be remarkable. Right. I mean, and let's face it, you had Belair. She probably is the one. She's probably the most talented woman on the roster. As far as Belair, she's just amazing. I mean, and I think that she helped that match go smoothly. But yeah, I've seen that when you talk about the missed spots, you know, and I see that a lot in the women's matches. It's like, you know, when they did that tornado DDT, you saw the move, then you saw her kick the opponent a little bit further over where she should have been, right? For the next set of moves. So I see what you're saying. But you can't take nothing away from them. They put on a good match. I mean, all four competitors, 100%.
Oh yeah. And I can't remember who it was on Raw. I really can't, but I did one of these. What did I just see that? Because she went to do like a Hurricanrana and legs just slipped right off her completely. So she didn't even grab her or nothing. And the other girl threw herself forward and like in a flip. I was like, nobody even touched you though. It was like, who was it? Who was it in the Royal Rumble or not Royal Rumble, somebody that threw themselves out of the ring without really being touched?
Yes.
I couldn't remember who did that, but it reminded me of that moment. I was like, wow.
That's the type of stuff. Yes. Yeah.
You know, where you see like you know, the vets who can sit there and if there's a mess up, they can work with it. Like say if they go to do a move and they slip off, they just start pounding them or whatever. You know, they turn it into something.
Right. You know, and I think the only thing that I would have had to say if it was an argument or a disagreement was, does Bianca and Jade Cargill need those titles? I don't think so. What I'd like to see, I think you agree, I would like to see down the road, maybe the next pay-per-view or Bad Blood, for them to lose the titles and turn on each other. I would love to see a Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair face to face, and a storyline start from there.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that's where they don't necessarily need the belts, but I think it helps play a better part for when they do split up.
100%.
Because now it's like, you know, it wouldn't be once, that would be twice that they lost the gold.
Right, 100%.
And who got pinned the first time when they lost?
Was that Cargill?
I think it was. I'll have to go double check, but you know, that same person gets pinned again, so now they're the reason why they lost it for the second time. Yeah, and that turmoil gets built up.
You know, yeah, and I in this match the most, I missed Pat McAfee. I cannot, for the life of me, get behind Wade Barrett.
Now, Wade, here's the thing, and here's for me. I actually really love Wade, really do. Okay. But the thing is, you have Corey Graves. I freaking hands down, he's my top-notch favorite besides Michael Cole. Pat McAfee just brings, he's right there, right behind him, because he brings that electricity, that energy. Yes. He's the hype man for the commentary team.
Yeah.
You know, and Wade Barrett, Wade's more the calm, like, oh, shut up, you know, just but he's starting to kind of get in his zone there where I'm like, okay, Wade's getting it, you know. Yeah. They just all have different personalities, and Corey Graves, hands down, man, I love that guy. But yeah, Pat McAfee, he brings something different to the table. He just, when he's there,
yeah,
you're like, man, I love Pat.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. Leon Street, hey, what's up, guys? Anybody have any questions? Let me know. Hey, hi, CDJ, man, what's going on? Hey,
what's up?
These guys are great. Leon, it's CDJ. I'm going to send you a link in Facebook, and you can come on the show, man. I'm sure you have everything to say.
Well, yeah, it's but I love it, you know, because I just love how Pat just brings that energy. Not saying that Michael Cole's ever been dull. Michael Cole's great, on point, always. Even if he messes up, you're like, it's Michael Cole.
Right.
Let him mess up, man. Like, what was it when Rollins did that interview with him and asked him, you're live in front of anybody, or not anybody, everybody. You know, how many days have you taken off in the past 20 years? 2.
Right.
Who's only taken off 2 days in the past 20 years?
Right.
That's dedication, man.
That is dedication.
Dedication.
I lost my question of the day for you.
Maybe it wasn't a good question. Like that, who likes pineapple on pizza? This guy. Well, what was the because we had the women's tag team match. Oh my goodness, for the life of me, man, I'm having a brain fart. I gotta pull that lineup up. While you're sitting there looking for a question that you would like to ask.
So, CDJ, I just sent you a text. I sent you a link. Hit the link to StreamYard to come on the podcast. So here's the question, man.
Okay.
Hulk Hogan has said so many things that people don't like. And there's so much hatred towards Hulk Hogan and the things he said. Why is it that Chris Benoit can do what he does and everybody just loves him?
Well, that's a hard question right there, because like when you look at what Benoit did, I mean, that's just beyond tragic, man. But when you set aside personal thoughts, like his personal life with his in-ring, he was a fantastic wrestler. Now, Hogan, so you're saying that like a lot of people are dissing on him, just not even...
They don't like Hogan. For some reason, they don't like...
Well, and I really, honestly, I hate to even go there with this and say I don't want to dip in this pool, but the irony of he goes and speaks at, because he likes Trump, he goes and speaks at the RNC, and now all of a sudden he has become one of the hates, one of the people that they can hate because he's a celebrity. He's very well known, and he's an easy target.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but I could be wrong.
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, he is one of the Trump supporters, and I get that. And a lot of people might not like Trump, so I don't know.
And he voiced that very loudly, so but it's just I don't care who you vote for, whatever. But like when you see somebody who actually says I'm going to vote for Trump, people start bashing them and hating them, and it's like people are allowed to have their own opinions, man. Right. You want to vote for Harris? That's your opinion. That's why it's a free country, free will.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, we're not going to get into that one.
Nope. Hey, CDJ, if you're still watching, go to your dad's Facebook page, Leon Street's Facebook page. Hey, Leon, man, I sent you a text or sent you a link on your Facebook page. I'd click on the link and it'll bring you to the waiting room in the StreamYard. And I'd love to get CDJ and your opinions on Bash in Berlin. So it should be at your Facebook. So what's next? We had the
strap match.
Let's go to strap match.
Yeah.
I would have to say that's probably one of my favorite matches of the night.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love those matches. You just can't go, because everybody's like, oh, not everybody, but I've had a couple people say, they're kind of predictable. No, not really. Like when Drew was touching the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Or the pose, and CM Punk was doing it right behind him. So I thought that was so smart. Like Drew went up to one touch, CM Punk touched as he turned around.
Hey, Leon, it's on your Facebook page, your Facebook Messenger. I'll send it to you again. Yeah, but those hot tags, yes. It was boom, 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 boom. It was so good. And they're so good with each other.
Yes. And here's the thing I really liked about that match. There was no, CM Punk's got this in the bag. There was, we don't know if Drew's going to win. We don't know if CM Punk's going to win. And that's what I miss so much. I miss the surprise of things. Like before internet started blowing up, we didn't know who was going to be guest star and who was going to be surprising.
Yes.
You loved it, like at the Royal Rumble. Man, back before like the internet started leaking out stuff, when we had surprise guests on the Royal Rumble. Man, you would jump out your seat, and that's the stuff we miss. And I felt like that match kept you guessing.
100%.
You're just like, man, this is so good. Like at that point, I don't care who wins.
Right. You want to see. So Leon, you go to your messenger. I sent it to your messenger. You'll see a link from StreamYard. Click on that link, and it should bring you right to the thing. But I was rooting for for CM Punk all night long. I wanted him to get that bracelet because it's not about who wins; it's about getting that bracelet back, right?
Mm-hmm.
CM Punk could have lost and got that bracelet back, and he'd be fine.
Yep.
But he won. But surprises like we talk about. I'm not sure we're going to get to all of Raw, but I want to point out this. Were you shocked when Drew McIntyre showed up at Raw on Monday night?
I was, just because I thought that, like, I had a feeling like, well, maybe he'll show up and try to start something again. But then I'm like, well, no, because I think, he might take a week or two off and then he'll come back and either start on CM Punk or, go on someone else. But no, it did shock me that he came right back and immediately just went in a rage mode.
Yeah, so I was hoping. Okay, so I'm torn between it. I was hoping that it was over. I was like, okay, fine. We got the end of the CM Punk and the Drew McIntyre story. We're finished. He got his bracelet back. I think that was match 2, right? Was that the second match or third match? So was that their second match or third match together?
That was their second match because Drew won the first one.
Okay, so now we got it. We're done. Now Drew McIntyre comes back, beat the living hell out of him last night or Monday night, and took the bracelet. And I'm like, oh snap! And that's what he did. He snapped that bracelet in half, and beads went everywhere. And CM Punk looked like a horrible mess So, yeah, that was that match, but it was a great match. I mean, those guys, again, those guys put on a heck of a show.
You know, and obviously you got to give it to, man, like CM Punk's still going at it.
Yeah.
Not saying he's super old or nothing, but he's been doing this for a minute, and he's still he's in great shape, and he still knows how to put on a show.
Absolutely. So CM Punk, man, that I gave that a B plus A minus. That's probably one of the best. That's probably the match of the night for me because I like that kind of match.
For me, it was the match of the night. Like, don't get me wrong, Randy and Gunther was phenomenal. Love that match, but I love those type of matches. And I've said this before, I truly miss the original steel cage matches.
Yes.
No pin, no submission, just straight escape the cage. That's it. Good old natural, get out the cage.
Yep. There were some big points in that match, where about when Punk set the table up, right? He knew he was going to through McIntyre. He wanted to put McIntyre through that, but nope. He got Claymore instead, right? So that was a huge pop moment. I'm like, oh crap! And then when McIntyre almost hit that rope, that last one, and CM Punk crawled out of the ring, and you know what I'm saying. So that was good. It was a good match, man. And I
loved how he gave him a GTS.
Yes.
Every freaking turnbuckle. And then when he thought the last one, he's just going to go ahead and go, and he stops. He's like, gets him again. I'm like, that was just because.
Then before the end of the match, he walked over, got that damn bracelet, and that went boom.
Because they were telling a story.
Yes.
They kept you intrigued with that story.
100%.
And you were like, wow. And you know what? I'm glad that we will have another one, because now we got the tiebreaker.
Yes.
Because it's 1-1. And now that Drew broke that bracelet and literally made him swallow it.
Yes.
So
should that be done at Bad Blood? And how do you end it? How do you finally get rid of, not get rid of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre? How do you finally end the story? Since that's a topic of WWE, end the story.
I would like to see something along the lines of maybe a Bad Blood, where they have we'll even say a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
And Drew tries to do something. He tries to do something real evil, and they're outside the cell for a minute. And then AJ comes out of nowhere and rips it out of his hand, whatever he's trying to do, hitting CM Punk with. Or she somehow gets involved, because I think it's just not to have her back, but just for her to show up, because she officially is a part of the story. Have her show up and kind of intervene in some way. I think that would, first of all, the place would go crazy. And it would just be the final icing on the cake.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think you got to bring her in, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to bring her in. So, you have to. If you don't bring her in as part of the story, then there's something wrong, right?
Yep. I mean, it's like, you don't necessarily have to, but we would love to see her on there. Just to be a part of it. You bring her up so many times.
Right. Her and that damn dog.
So it's
you don't want to cross the line with animal control, so just bring her in. And please do not make some stupid I hate it when they bring wives into it and talk shit about the wives where she's gonna cheat on this person. But don't do that. And I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want
You know, something along the lines of like Maurice and Miz. Maurice never strayed away from him, always stayed by his side, and always
Right.
supported him.
100%. Yep. So I give that match an A. That was my favorite.
Definitely A worth right there. I really like that. Like I said, Stowe strap matches, they're just gold mines, man.
Yep. So
I think
what do
the
you
only
want?
matches I prefer over those are the Hell in a Cell or
Yep.
the casket matches. But
Yep.
it depends on who's wrestling in the casket match.
Correct.
Because I want to see a good story.
Yes. Correct. So we're gonna do the Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest, Liv Morgan, Dominic.
Let's do that one.
All right.
The Terrorwind twins went on a tear. They really did.
Yeah.
You know, it brought out the beast in Rhea and Damian. And when Rhea finally got her hands on Dominic, that was just freaking that was a gold mine right there. And I love it because they're not in the Judgment Day anymore. They're battling against them. But
Right.
they still have the attention of everyone.
Absolutely.
But I think it's better now. Because you have Liv, who's she stepped into her own, man. She went from just being a superstar to now she's a superstar. She's showing you she deserves to be there.
Absolutely. Hold on, man. Send these guys one more quick. I'm gonna send you guys another link. Hopefully this works. All you got to do is hit the StreamYard. The StreamYard, the blue, the StreamYard link. That's all you got to do, and it should bring you right to me. If not, fire away with your questions. So the Terror Twins, yeah. If realistically, could Liv Morgan and Dom beat those guys? Hell no.
And we know that. We know that realistically they would get smashed.
And they got smashed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I hope to God we don't see a turn from Dominic on Liv to rejoin that, because they don't need that.
No.
They do not.
I think this, he doesn't need the help anymore. He did at first, but Dominic doesn't need the help to have so much heat on him. He's already got so much heat. But this just, I don't know how, but it added more. So, because everybody loves Rhea. So you turned on Rhea.
Yeah, I can do that. Yes. So ask away and I'll put the message on here. Okay. It's like this. Yep, I can do that. Heel. Which one's the heel, bro? Which one is it Liv and Dom, or is it?
It's Liv and Dom. Rhea and Damian have been turned to face.
But have they? They're going to go on to destroy so many people. And by the way, let me ask you this, because I'm totally confused. I hate this idea. But last night, Jey Uso joined them and had a tag team match with Jey Uso on their side. I'm not a fan of that. Jey Uso, in my opinion, that's what they're doing to Cody Rhodes. Now Jey Uso is involved with Rhea Ripley when he needs to be more involved in the bloodline stuff and bring Jimmy back so we can have what we all want to see. I was not a fan of Jey Uso joining Rhea and
Well, you got to remember that it's just because he joined them for last night doesn't mean it's okay. This is what they're going to do from now on. It's just a one night thing. And in due time, that bloodline story is going to pick up.
Okay, because I did not want to see him with.
We see Roman's not even, Roman's not really come back yet. He came back. They jumped him because to show their authority, to show their strength in numbers.
Yep. 100%. So that match, I gave that another A. That was a great match. It really was. I hope it's done, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to be done.
Because Rhea wants her title back.
Yep. And she wants to get rid of Dom for sure.
Oh my goodness.
So, then we had the final match, the heavyweight championship match, Randy Orton versus Gunther.
Well, you got Gunther, who is already a superstar.
Yep.
And he just gets better and better as time goes on. And you have Randy, who's a definite, for sure, first round ballot Hall of Famer. 100%. He's great. And he's shown you he's great, but he still continues to show you. Yep. Like, he's got that where I was watching it the other day where it was the Undertaker. They were talking about him, the BSK crew. They were talking about that.
Yeah.
They're saying how the Undertaker always knew when it was time to kind of switch things up. Like if he felt like his character, like he ran it for so long and it got stale. Okay, it's time to do this. Okay, let's change it up a little bit and do this. Randy has that same vision. You can see it. He knows how to change it up. Okay, I'm a face. No, I'm a heel.
Yep.
Hey, I'm a happy-go-getty guy. No, I'm serious and going to smash you.
Yep.
He knows how to play it, and he does it so well.
And he sells like no other. He's probably one of the best sellers out there. And I loved it. He's getting his ass beat, and it's getting chopped like no other. I mean, Gunther's just laying him out on him, and he drops these F-bombs. He's like, oh, you know. So, and you can tell that hurt. That aren't nice to take. You know what I'm saying?
No. I remember because when Nikki D there, when he was doing his indie wrestling stuff, and you know, we would mess around and crap, and he would do some chops on me. Oh man, I remember those things hurting.
Yeah. I mean, that was great. I mean, we've seen power bombs, we've seen RKOs, we've seen chops, we've seen brutality. Which, if you didn't think going into that match you were going to see brutality, you'd have been crazy, because those are some big bad dudes. That's all they know. That's all they know how to do.
Yep. And once again, that match, it kept you to where you're like, man, when that RKO came out of nowhere, I was like, Randy's got it. Randy's got it.
Yeah.
But, you know, Gunther kicked out, and I'm like, who? And I like it because the fact that Gunther held the Intercontinental title so long doesn't mean he's going to hold this one so long. Maybe he will. But I like how they give you that you don't know. It's not for sure.
Absolutely. You know, and a lot of people on the social medias are saying that they wish that Orton would have won, because to give him that, what is it, the 17th time?
It would be a 15th time.
15th time, yeah. But like you said, he has 5 more years in the tank. There'll be plenty of time for Randy Orton to get that 15th title.
Mm-hmm.
As long as something doesn't happen where he gets hurt or something like that, he's going to be around for a while, and he's going to, you know, he'll get that title.
What I would really like to see next year, because it's his farewell year, his final match be against Randy, because they have so much history together.
Okay, so let's play story booking, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked last week. Well, Cody Cornette talked last week mostly about Cena getting a belt, and so let's have Cena get the belt, right? And say he gets the belt near the end of the year, so he doesn't have to carry that long. Then he gets into December or a pay-per-view in December. At his final match, does he lose it to Randy Orton so Randy Orton can get the 15th time?
You know, that one, it's not a bad idea, because you have John Cena, who a lot of people do consider to be the greatest of all time. Yeah. I don't knock it. I love Cena, think he's great. My greatest of all time is Undertaker.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a John Cena greatest
Yes.
of all time.
And it's not a knock against Cena. He's
No.
done so many great things, man. Great in the ring, just great at everything he does. But what you talk to any wrestler and they talk about, backstage heroes, backstage role models. Undertaker's always the number one that they talk about. He was always the locker room leader.
Yep.
And that's why he's my
CDJ, man. What's your questions? We're almost done with the show. But yeah, overall show, great show. I could vouch to say, other than WrestleMania, this could have been one of their top PLEs of the year.
Yeah, no. Other than WrestleMania, yeah, I give that to you, man. I really do.
I mean, I don't know if it's number 2, but it's not on the bottom. There's been worse pay-per-views or PLEs or whatever they call them now. But that was one of the better ones.
It was. I just want to go back to what we were talking about, like Cena possibly getting that belt.
Yeah.
And that's where I was getting to. I just kind of got off track. I mean, it wouldn't hurt at all whatsoever. It would just kind of cement his name further into what the ground that he already has it cemented in, man.
Right.
Was to put him above Ric Flair beating that. I don't think he will, because he said it before. There's a reason why I never wanted to beat it, is because that's Ric Flair's, and I've always idolized him, and I never want to do that.
Right.
But I mean, he could just give him to him one more time, so he could officially, in everyone's eyes, be the greatest of all time.
Yeah, we could
and then
do that.
Give it to Randy and give Randy 15 championships.
Right. That's a great idea. Yeah. So I came up with a couple questions I want to ask Rico. I didn't share these with you because I want them to be shocking questions. Tell us about your favorite live event that you have ever went to, and why was it your favorite?
Well, for me, that's kind of easy because remember I told you before, I've only been to 3 live events.
Okay.
So that's not very hard for me. The one that was my favorite was a Monday Night Raw. And the reason why it was my favorite, it was, first of all, it was here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And it was Cody Rhodes' first Monday back. It was the celebration of Randy's birthday on that Raw.
Okay.
So for me, I was like, I got to see Seth Rollins. I got to see Randy. I got to see Cody. And, and at the time, Elias, but he was what was his name? I can't remember. His twin or his brother.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, and the show was just great. It was great. All the matches were good. The crowd was hyped the whole time. I think maybe there was one spot where it was kind of dull and nobody was really getting into stuff. But besides that, it was fantastic. And that was, man, how many years ago was that? When Cody came back 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
So yeah, about 2 years ago. But like I said, I haven't gone to many, so that was, for me, that was my favorite because it was my first time getting to see those guys live.
Okay. I will say mine was it's been 4 years ago. Yeah. I got to go down to the Pensacola Bay Center and watched Road to WrestleMania. And that's when I learned, or I got to see firsthand how good Sami Zayn was. Because leading into that event, I thought Sami Zayn was a joke. I thought it was whatever. He's just, I don't get it. I don't like him at all. But to see him play the crowd, to see him engage throughout the whole match, and see him live was crazy good. And that was when Roman Reigns and the Usos were against Sami Zayn and those guys. And so that was good. That was about 4 years ago for me. So that was my favorite. I mean, I love indie wrestling, of course. I got to give a plug to CDJ. I love Extreme Impact Wrestling down here in Panama City Beach. So, but my favorite event I went to that was live WWE was Road to WrestleMania about 3 years ago, I guess. Haven't been back since, so that sucks. But
and that's where, like, I will say this to anybody who's watched wrestling on TV and they're like, yeah, I mean, if you don't get into it, you don't get into it. But I would say try this. Go to a live event because it's a different atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's a different feeling. And I say that about every sport, because I love watching football, but going to a live football game is so much better. Basketball, same thing. Hockey, same thing. Baseball. I can't stand to watch baseball on TV. Truly can't. You put it on, I'll find something else to do. But now going to a live game, I'll get into it.
100%.
So I would say you got to try to go to a live wrestling event and just check it out.
100%. Yep. So my next question, I got two. This is my last topic. I want you to list me. I posted this on Facebook, so if you read my Facebook, you know what's coming. List for me your 2 least favorite gimmicks of all time, and why are they? Why?
Okay. The 2 least favorite?
Yep.
The first one I would really have to say, what's his face? What was it? I had his name off the top of my head. He played the Repo Man. I don't know if you remember. This is back in the day.
I remember that.
I hated that gimmick because it was Crush, I think it was, from Demolition.
Yes.
And I'm just like, but I wish Nikki D was on here because me and him have talked about this. I'm just like, what are we doing? What in the world are we doing? This guy's good, man. And we put him as freaking the Repo Man. Oh my goodness. That
would have been okay. So that would have been what a Demolition.
Demolition.
He was in Demolition. Barry Darso was the Repo Man who performed as he was Smash and Demolition. So yeah, I didn't know that. I had to look it up. I did not know that.
Here come Demolition. We're gonna destroy you. Man, love that.
I agree. Repo Man, 100%. Awful. Yes. Awful.
Oh, just awful. I was like, come on, man. Come on, yeah. And then the other one is just because I've seen him wrestle and other things, and he was actually pretty decent. And I just felt like they crippled him. Beyond crippled him from the get-go was – no, not from the get-go. Santino Morello. And I say that because if you watch his stuff, like his other wrestling, you're like, man, this guy's actually pretty good. Like, and when they first ever brought him in, like, I liked how they brought him in. But after that, they made him just kind of a joke. He was just the laughing stock of the WWE, somebody that everyone else could pick on.
Yeah.
And I hated that, man, because so that's my second one, just because I felt like he really got outed on that.
My first one would be, I don't know if you remember this guy. I hated him. I thought it was the stupidest thing. The Red Rooster. What the frick? What were we watching? The Red Rooster. Looking out with that red mohawk, that blonde hair, red mohawk. I can still see it. It's just, no, I can't. I don't like it.
Oh, what about the dentist?
Yeah, come on.
Sorry.
Red Rooster was been my first one, and gosh, I would have to say I could not get behind at all. Who was the guy that wore the Bronx, the New York Yankees holy t-shirt?
Brooklyn Brawler.
I hated him.
You hated the Brooklyn Brawler?
I could not stand that guy.
And a lot of guys backstage really had respect for the Brooklyn Brawler.
I guess. I mean, no, I couldn't get a lot. I mean, no. If it wasn't that, it was the 50 Doink the Clowns that we had to watch.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'll say this. Like I get about the whole different doinks and stuff, but man, when that heel doink was just the jam, he really was.
He was.
Because you're thinking he's going to be this goofy, and then he's like, oh, coming down to the ring.
So yeah, I talk about gimmicks because I want to share that I'm working on. Do you remember in the, I think it was Attitude Era, PG-13, the white boy rappers.
Wait a minute. Oh no, if I see a picture, I know I'll remember.
You'll know it. You'll know it.
No, I'll remember.
Anyways, I'm working on getting them on one of the members on the show. So hopefully that'll work out. But so I cannot say that's my least favorite gimmick because I don't know. And also, I did not like them stupid guys in green pants and white t-shirts.
Oh, okay.
Remember those guys?
Oh my goodness gracious!
What about the cheerleaders? The green pants and the white t-shirt.
The Spirit Squad.
I hated that. And even in NXT, these dumbasses that were the university guys.
Oh, Chase U.
Yeah,
Chase
no,
U.
Why?
Like I get like the Spirit Squad, man. It's like, no, I didn't like them. The only thing I liked was it got Dolph Ziggler out of there.
Yeah, true.
Because Dolph was just freaking good, man. But I think my most favorite moment though is when they used the Spirit Squad to reunite DX.
Yes, 100%.
That was awesome.
Yep. So what we're doing now is we're going to wrap up the show. Just a couple of announcements that we make. We will be back on Tuesday nights for sure to recap Raws. Hopefully all the guys are coming back together, and or if they don't want to watch, if they don't want to be part of it, Rico, I guess we have a week to search out 2 or 3 more guys, right?
New talent.
They don't want to join us. That's fine. But
Cody's scared. You heard me, Cody, calling you out.
But next week we have Rick Allen and Rich Wise. Rick Allen on the Monday the 9th and Rich Wise the 12th. Rick Allen is a legend in WWE, I think, or NWA. And Rich Wise is he's a phenomenal indie star down in Orlando. So those are the interviews. But we have our Raw review on Tuesday. And whatever happens after that. But I'm thankful, Rico. I text Rico. I'll be honest with everybody that's watching. I texted Rico this afternoon. He said, "Let's go." And then we almost didn't go. And then we said, "You know what? We need to put something out there. We haven't been out here for a while. We need to get back to putting content out so more people can become aware again of who Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast is."
That's right.
Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast is a group of guys. My brother and I are surrounded by a great group of guys: Rico, George, Cody Cornett, sometimes Bryson. JB Wrestling for Life is out there. All you guys make this special for us. And I hope to introduce you to a new friend, Rico, in a couple weeks. His name is Quentin. He lives down, he's in the same subdivision as we are. He loves wrestling. So,
nice.
Yep. So, and then we're going to try to, I think there's another, in September, there's a show in Fort Walton Beach. I'm going to try to go check out to see what they're all about. But
okay. I just want to say real quick, MATT, why don't you come on down to the night show, buddy? Just one time. One time.
Come on, Matt. You got called out. MATT. So Fridays, he'll rebuttal. I can just say his rebuttal for you. We have a Friday show, sports talk show. We're going to pick the NCAA games and the NFL games. Starting next Friday. That's what we're on every Friday. Noon Central, 1 Eastern. Your time is 1 Eastern.
Get a hold of me.
All right. Okay.
If Matt okays it, get a hold of me.
All right, man. So, hey, guys, it's Huge Pop. I know Rico's got to get to bed. Now I got to get to bed. We all have to get up at 4 a.m. And that's right around the corner. So, I just want to say thank you for CDJ coming in the chat. Next time we'll get you on the show. I have Brady Brown, he just texted me. He's sorry he couldn't get back with me. Good luck, Brady Brown at Warrior Wrestling Alliance. Hope you don't cheat your way through anything else. You've done a great job screwing over people. Hope you don't get yourself.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't listen to what he's saying. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Hope you finally get what's coming to you. Yeah, lots going on. So yeah, check us all out. Check the YouTube channel out. Go to Kick. Go to Twitch. Follow us on Facebook. Comment in the comment section what you guys want to see more of, and we'll try to make that happen. So, again, Rico, I appreciate you. I love you like a brother, man.
Love you, man.
You guys are great, and you have a great night. Hang out for 2 seconds, Rico. I'm going to play this quick exit, and then we'll say our goodbyes. So, Huge Pop Wrestling Podcast. You know what it is. Like the T-shirt says, we're for life.